All right, you're good.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. And it's so good to see all of you guys on tonight. I'm so glad that each of you has joined us. We are so excited tonight to share a little bit about Solle, and we're super excited that you're here. I just want to remind everybody that we have some exciting giveaways at the end of the call tonight. So please stay tuned to the end so that you can get yourself enrolled. Just comment in the chat your name so that we can add you into that giveaway, and you can be entered for that. So tonight we are super thrilled to be able to just welcome Angela Brucheski. She is going to be our awesome teacher this evening, and she is going to share with us a little bit about the Solle Colors. And so, Angela, I am going to go ahead and let you take it away because I know we have a lot of awesome stuff lined up for you guys tonight. So thank you, Angela, for doing this for all of us.
We do. I'm so excited to hear from all the different testimonies and everything. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. As many of you guys know, we have all of our 4 little colors on our bottles. And a lot of times we're thinking, okay, well, which one do I grab? And it's honestly, Solle made it so easy for us that they color coded it for us. So it's perfect. There are 4 lines that Solle has, which is the lift, the balance, the clarify, and the calm. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the colors. So as you can see, there's red, blue, green, and yellow. And when I think of those colors, I'm thinking red, like energy, lifting. And when I think of blue, I automatically go to waters and calming. And I immediately think sleep for me. But then green also goes to balance. And I think of like just that equilibrium. And yellow will go to clarifying, and I think of sunshine. So, but moving on, they actually have these categories. Red is clarified as lift category. The blue is the calm category, and the green is the balance category, and yellow is the clarify category. And so when thinking about that, moving into the balance aspect of it, these products are actually designed nutritionally. They're dense supplements. So you're getting those unique adaptogenic properties. And so it's affecting overall wellness. So when I think of adaptogens, and for anybody that is not familiar with it, they are actually herbs that are helping bring our body back to balance, to that equilibrium. And as you can see, the vital is green. I think of healthy, and anytime you think of a green drink, don't you guys think of healthy, right? And so I think of like those leafy green vegetables, herbs, and just that nutritious aspect of things. And the next category would be the lift. And with the lift, I think of energy and just that naturally stimulating. And as you can see, the NeuroIM, that product is amazing for one, which is also helping with increased energy, the vitality, and also this product in general. I love it because it helps bring me focus and just stimulating that cell repair and bringing focus and thinking of lifting as awakening everything. The next category is the clarify line. And that one is actually formulated to provide increased mental acuity, sharper focus, and also I think of cleaning out the old. And so anytime we want to be getting rid of something, as you can see, the Clear SI is here. This one is great for sinuses and allergies. And I could go on and on about what this product is great for. But when we're narrowing things down, we want to keep it to the colors, and we want to keep it to, you know, what our body's needing. In any yellow category, we can think of cleaning out and just getting rid of any congestion and things like that. And then, of course, the next line is one of my favorites, the calm line. This one is great for calming the digestive system, calming the mind, any mental anxiety. And also, I think of recovery, because without our body having that calm aspect, our body's not recovering during our sleep cycle or anything like that, which I've come to learn for myself. But just our bodies are needing to restore, rejuvenate, in the whole healing process that, you know, because we're having everyday stressors, whether it's weakened from immunity or diet and our surroundings and things like that. So moving on, this is when you aren't sure, ask yourself, what color does your body need? When you're looking in your cabinet and you're saying, okay, well, how am I feeling? Do I feel like I'm needing calm? And there's a couple questions on the next slide. These questions are great. Do I need a little boost? Am I having trouble unwinding before bed? Am I feeling congested, or am I feeling overwhelmed? And so there's different times of days or different times of the day that your body may find that you need more of something. Or if you are being, having a lot going on and have extra stress, you may find that, hey, it's during the day and I need some calm. So, and then a couple other things are the oils. And I love it that we have all these oils as well. I was never one that was, I had a few oils I dabbled in, and now I'm the girl that actually pulls all these oils out and I use them throughout my entire day. And I find that I love it because I have my daughter uses them as well too. So I love it that my kids are using the little oil rollers as well. So in really looking at everything, Solle has done a wonderful job at designing this so that we have synergy, we have consistency, water intake and personal development. This is everything that Solle has encompassed. So when designing the products, we're thinking about balance and lifting and clarifying and calming, but these all have to work together with also what we do on the outside. We want to be making sure that we're taking care of ourselves internally as well as externally too. So again, you've got the 4 lines, the lift, the calm, the balance, the clarify, and then these are all brought together so that we can all be balanced as one. And then for some of you guys, I'm not sure if you've heard Donna's story. Greg, our founder, is going to be speaking shortly, and he may elaborate a little bit on Donna's story. And you can also find this on the Solle's YouTube channel as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela. I know that it takes a lot to prepare for that, and I'm just so thrilled that you were able to share with us. I know you've had an awesome experience with Solle, and I just appreciate you taking the time out to just go over this with us for sure. And I know some of you guys may have some questions for Angela, and even for Greg coming up, who's going to be speaking with us here shortly. Please do remember, if you have any questions for us, we can't wait to answer them for you, but go ahead and just chat them in, and we're going to go ahead and cover some of those at the end. So now I have the pleasure of introducing you guys to Mr. Greg Halliday. He is the president of Solle Naturals, and Greg has been amazing enough to join us on Monday nights and kind of teach a little bit for us. And what I will have to tell you guys is it's super humbling to be part of a company and a group of people where you get to go on vacation, you get to meet with the people at corporate. And Greg has just been such a joy to get to know. His wife Donna's story has touched my life because there's so many similarities, and it's just blessed me so much. So like Angela said, take a minute to hop over to the YouTube channel and take a peek at that, because it really is. I promise you, you will not have a dry eye. So make sure you have the tissue ready. And Greg, without further ado, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it over. And thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thanks, Amy. And thanks, Angela, for teaching us. I do love to learn, to get together and learn and share, right? That's kind of why we founded Solle, because we hope that everything that we've learned along the way, and here we are about 10 years into it, we can pass it on. I don't want any of it to stay with us, because if everyone knows this information, then I think it can make a real difference. And it has for us and for many people. And yeah, Amy mentioned my wife, Donna. And the product that I was asked to discuss today actually contains a blend that was prepared for Donna originally. And it was originally in a capsule, but we wanted to have the major elements of that in a drink form, because Angela mentioned this too. Drinking more water in general, just in hydration in general, can make such a big difference in our health. And the fact that each of those 4 categories of health, balance, calm, lift, and clarify, those 4 colors, are headlined by a drink, is because we believe we all can do a little better in our water intake. And so Solle Vital, the product that I'm going to talk about, you just mix it in water. And I brought some slides I'm going to share. So I'm going to share a screen here for just a second with you. These are actually from a presentation from Dr. Allison. And it's a little different than the one that I usually share with Solle Vital. But I love this one because it just seemed to fit with the way we're talking about it tonight. It is the quintessential foundational product. And I think, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, we talked about using a foundational approach which is the most efficient and cost-efficient way to deal with our health. It takes education to do that. It takes learning to listen to our body to do that, but it's actually so much quicker and better than chasing around our symptoms and finding the natural product for that symptom, which is really easy to do. And honestly, we did that for many years because that's what I knew. But with Solle, we wanted to make it better and kind of move forward the way we look at our health. Because like Angela said, these are dense nutrients, meaning in a small amount of plant material, you get a large amount of therapeutics or a large amount of nutrition. We just choose to work with those plants that are balanced and that are more dense, because you can find a lot of plants that do good things. They all have, a property or properties that can benefit it. Well, almost all, right? Some of them have things we do not want to eat, but most of them do. And the difference between these plants is that they're more balanced and they have a higher variety of nutrients and they're more concentrated. Those are the three differences that I would say. If someone asked me why Solle or how Solle is different in its plants, that's what I would tell them. More concentrated, a wider variety of nutrients, and a denser plant. So if I look at Solle Vital, it's a green drink. It's 100% herbal. It is fresh because instead of scooping it, each serving is individually sealed, and it's kept in a climate controlled environment. And we do batches every 3 months. This is something that will stay good for years if you keep it. If you forget, you lose a pouch somewhere and it's 10 years. I know I've got a few. I actually kept them on purpose. You can use them. The therapeutics are good, but the natural flavors will dissipate a little. They're not artificial and synthetic. They're going to settle out, even sealed. And so this is fresh, and we make them every 3 or 4 months. They're vegan, gluten, sugar, and a lot of other things you don't want in you free. They're really anything that we're aware of that would not be beneficial. We avoid, we keep out of them. So when we look at Solle and creating a foundation, Solle Vital is where we start. This is Dr. Allison, and this was actually from five or 6 years ago. She gave this. Solle Vital has a cascade effect. To me, a simple way of thinking of a cascade effect on your health is you begin to use it and you might have a thing in mind or a few things in mind. And what you find is several other things are improved or changed because the steps along the way that happen that bring things into balance, like Angela said, actually create solutions for other things that you weren't really thinking of or we weren't really thinking of when we were taking care of. And that's the evidence of a really dense and balanced formula in health. I like point number 2 here. Solle Vital is created to increase responsibility for health. I don't know if you've ever thought about it that way. That's what we hope to do. We hope to create increased responsibility for health. We should be the most responsible persons for our own health. We should be, each of us. We know ourselves better. We can greatly benefit from mentors and input and sharing. But in the end, we have to listen to our body. And the more we're educated and the more we take nutrients into our life that are cascading, it does tend to center us and focus us on our health in a more constructive way. And we find ourselves taking more responsibility. We're less likely to just, okay, I'll take this because you said, well, wait, I've been learning things. I want to learn about it more before I just turn my health over to somebody else. And that is something over 30 years. I cannot emphasize enough. My last 30 years, thankfully, excuse me, I was just eating some snacks before this meeting. But thankfully, I had a friend that introduced me to these things, and step by step, it evolved to this point. So the cascade effect is huge. It means that one thing changes can change and will change many things for good. That only happens when our products are foundational. And that's all about really all of Solle's formulas to a degree, but especially the green category, especially the balance category. So I'm going to jump that one just a second because there's not time to do all these. But It's not just the cascade effect and taking more responsibility. It's giving real help to the very definite connection between our emotional state and our mental state and the physical processes that are going on. There is a synergy. And what that means to me is maybe a little different than some might look at that synergy. It means that what we change physically in our nutrition will actually influence greatly how we feel emotionally. From that end, the change can happen. If we can't see a way to get it done with some of the emotional strengthening things like connections with others and meditation and things that can change mental state that are separate from nutrition, we can always work with nutrition to get there. And then our nutrition will not always be adequate unless we also do those things that are non-nutritional, and because we recognize that there is this connection. So synergy to me is that effect that when we work on both, we actually nourish both, and we work on both sides of things, the nutritional side and also social and emotional side. We can see a real change in both areas in our health and our well-being. This is a quote from Dr. Allison's book, that when you become a specialist at Solle, she says that most people know at least some of the basics about what they should do, but they don't do it because we feel overwhelmed. We don't have the energy, we think, to complete that whole change. Or we believe that creating real health will be the least fun we ever have. In other words, it's just deprivation and torture, self-torture. Well, it isn't. It actually is the opposite of that if the information we're getting is good information. And if the circles of community that we involve ourselves in have a positive approach to health. And that's what we try to do at Solle, is try to simplify it, but make the nutrition resources here complete and provide for a wonderful environment where we all can support each other. So how does Solle Vital fit into that? Well, it has 3 ingredient groups, and they all play a key role in this conversation. The first one is we call it multifilament, and it's a high-end chlorophyll blend. We call it a prime chlorophyll blend. It is not just off the street, or I'll say out of the lab chlorophyll. Sativa min is the second group. These are all plants that are among the highest in their categories in trace mineral content and variety. And the third group is called adaptable. This is the blend that was created as part of our journey with my wife, Donna, and her story, which was referenced earlier, dealing with those powerful forces of emotional wellness that come into our lives and sometimes can be really utterly overwhelming unless we have a really complete program to help us through it. So mood enabling adaptogens, 6 of them make up that final point, adaptable. So what are we trying to do with Solle Vital to create that balance, to bring us back to kind of homeostasis there? Number 1, enliven the body. We sort of easily can run around in life or operate like on half empty or 2/3 empty when it comes to key nutrients like minerals. I mean, that's a classic. I'll never forget when I was new in natural health and someone took a simple plant that was high in minerals and they stuck it in water. They took a capsule, actually, and opened it up in water. And they had this little light bulb with the 2 wires. And it's set up so that if the circuit is closed and the water would serve to close the circuit, the light bulb would go on. And they had 1 glass of pure water and one where these high mineral herbs were in it. And so you dip the 2 cables in water in just sort of a basic tap water or whatever, and you see the light bulb kind of glow. Then you'd stick it in the high mineral and it would double in brightness. That visual will never leave my mind, because that is what it is all about when we talk about plants high in minerals and why we need them, and how foods now that we buy in mineral depleted soils, they can be good foods and doing us good, and they're not doing this part anymore. And that's one of the reasons we're sluggish emotionally, mentally, physically. So enlivening our body is huge. Protecting our core is huge. Why? We eat a lot of sugar, we eat a lot of acid, there's a lot of stress, and all those things create inflammation, and they create imbalances where the integrity of our tissue is interrupted. I mean, I've heard amazing things just at where we get good oxygen to our cells or if we don't. You can read respected scientists will tell you your tissue is compromised if over any period of time, the oxygen level that's delivered to your cells is less efficient. And that's a direct corollary to different imbalances, even to like abnormal cells and things like that. So protecting your core is part of what your body's built and designed to do, but we need the nutrients. It needs the raw materials to do that too. And so Vital has those too. And then energize your mood. Well, I talked about adaptable and Donna and this blend with Donna, and I'll just mention a little bit further. But these are the three ways we're creating balance: enlivening, protecting, and then energizing. Okay. So the first area, enlivening your body, superior nutrition, whole plant extracts, lots of vitamins and minerals. Vital is all these things in one little simple packet. It's on the go. You can, like, we don't have a whole ton of excuses if we're aware of this to not be around this and have it when we need it. And when you're really busy or your crazy schedule or more exertion emotionally or physically, please don't be afraid to get in the afternoon and go, well, I already had my Vital. I'm going to drink another Vital. We get used to how our body feels. And this is something we can do, or we can drink part of one and save it. Really, nutrition is meant to meet the demand, meet the need. And if we meet it, the need of the day, and then we maybe exceed it a little bit, well, then our body can actually work on repair and restoring things that become chronic over time. So that's why it's important to have not just any old nutrition. We pick plants in Vital, and I think we're going to mention all of them real quick, that are very dense. I mentioned what that is already. They're easy to assimilate. We have a deeply held belief at Solle that in the plant form, pretty much every nutrient is much more easily utilized by the body. So with a little, the body can do more. Instead of loading our body up with a lot from which it can take a little. And it has to use its cleansing properties to deal with the rest. That's the trade-off we're doing with plants. Lots of phytochemicals, lots of heavily studied families of phytochemicals that are known to be great for our health. So here are pictures of the 4 plants that are your mineral enlivened plants. Oat straw, nettle, Avena sativa is oat straw, nettle, dandelion, and burdock. They do lots of other things besides just give us minerals. They strengthen kidneys, heart, lungs, mood. They are very well known and used for centuries in these uses, and science in more modern times has validated so much of that as well. Here's one example. This is just one of the 4 we just showed you. Look at nettle. These are all the vitamins in it. Does that shock anybody? I like to show this slide because this is one of the 14 densely nutritious herbs that are in Solle Vital. So people sometimes say, well, do you take a multivitamin too? I really don't, because I haven't found one nearly this broad in what's in it. And I've done so much better. This has now been a decade just using this. But look at these. Look at all of what we need and want. You can pull some of these out, one at a time, and talk about all the reasons they're so important in health. This is one of them. That's nettle. I mentioned there's no sugar in any of this. Sometimes people go, that's sweet. Okay, well, that's stevia and a little bit of erythritol. There are 2 acid-resistant fibers that are soluble fibers. They're not insoluble. They do get digested, that help keep it in suspension. And there are some natural flavors, a little lime and a little strawberry, a little berry. Stevia sometimes comes under fire. Oh, I wish I could just end this endless cycle of internet bashing on stevia. It's a member of the mint family. It's very sweet. Yes, like any plant, someone can extract something out and leave the plant behind. We don't do that. Our stevia, it is extracted in a concentrated form for the sweet elements of it, but it's still stevia, what we use. We don't alter it away from the plant. Not only is it quite sweet, and so we don't need to use sugar, we don't need to bring calories into it, but it also brings other amazing health benefits. It's actually a really wonderful, like so many members of the mint family a wonderful health tonic. So that's how Solle Vital gets. If it's a little sweet to you, trust me, if we didn't put it, it would be very bitter with these herbs. You can always add more water and thin out the taste a little. That's what or you can combine it. So we use whole plant extracts. We don't pull things out. We might accentuate some, but usually we concentrate the whole plant. There are some where there's a reason where a group of the active components we want to accentuate and leave with the rest of the plant. Why do we do this? Because there's a lot to learn still. We don't know everything about the plants. We don't want to leave the rest of the plant in its natural balance away. So we do include them. Listen to this. I like this quote, Dr. Allison from Dr. Royal Lee. Every vitamin is a biological mechanism, not a chemical. I like that. It's a biological mechanism. Things happen because of vitamins and can't happen sometimes when they're not there, and need to happen in groups and clusters and in balance. So that's why plants, that's why we don't isolate. That's why it's such a great balancer to get. She calls Vital high voltage because a little bit produces a lot of good, a lot of wellness in a little bit of it. And it's super portable. So this is a high impact. This is a high impact member of your nutritional family. This one thing can do a whole lot of good and has a whole lot of uses. It's portable, it's applicable in any situation, and people at any age can use it. You can look at about any aspect of health is directly affected by these three blends. It's why everything starts with it. Okay, let's talk about the middle blend, prime chlorophyll. High-end chlorophylls concentrated are known to be a great help to all of these systems, protecting and healing. Two Nobel Prizes were given for work on chlorophyll. Look how long ago. Why isn't this not more front and center in our education? There are probably reasons for that, but those I'll stay away from here. Our chlorophyll is in powder because as soon as you put it in water within 48 hours, it will degrade to about slightly less than 10% of its potency, like so many things do. It's not just chlorophyll. That's why Solle Vital's in powder. We originally thought about doing it as a drink, pre-prepared, you just drink it. Even easier. This is why we didn't. And you can say that same thing with some other plants. Chlorophyll pulls inflammation down, it protects you. It brings important minerals, depending on the form of chlorophyll, magnesium or copper, supports healthy cells. It is a deodorizer, it is a cleanser. There are so many interesting studies that prove that it is, and think about it, it's in all green things, right? It's the green pigment. It's pretty darn important. It needs to be part of our diet. This is a way to make it a key part. This is much more concentrated than if you just eat salads. Much, much, much more. In fact, there's not enough time in the day to eat enough leaves to get this amount of chlorophyll if that's all you're doing. Did you know DNA damage is minimized if there's a lot of chlorophyll in the diet from environmental chemicals? These are some interesting points that Dr. Allison taught. It binds and removes cells damaging to the body, damaging to, toxins from the body. There's a huge variety of chemicals and toxins that chlorophyll studies show they'll attach. Remember, just enough water and enough fiber and a healthy liver, and you can remove toxins. Chlorophyll helps make that the case. So by the way, Solle Vital is the first thing I drink when I get up. I have a couple of capsules and I always drink a Vital. That's me. It sort of makes me feel like, unfoggy, a certain type of energy, right? Not a stimulant, but a certain type of energy and alive and alert. Here are the 4 chlorophylls: alfalfa, nettle, mulberry, and spinach. They're all different. 2 of them in this formula are sodium copper chlorophyllin with the copper in the middle, and 2 of them are normal with the magnesium in the middle. Why? Because we know a lot. We've learned a lot about chlorophyll, and we don't know a lot too. We want a variety. We want to make sure we cover the things that we're aware of and the things that we wish we knew. And here's the final blend, adaptogens. So this is all about energizing our mood, right? That makes all the difference in the world to our health. Adaptogens are studied in all four of these areas. I mean, body systems just means about every vital organ you could pinpoint. There have been studies about them with different adaptogens, but they're all tied into an energy component without being a stimulant, an immune component, and this really pronounced effect on our mental well-being and our emotional health. Those are always the big red flags that can delineate a adaptogenic plant from one that is not, because the adaptogens have all of those attributes. Angela kind of already talked about this. Adaptogens help normalize things. They help us adapt to stress. Another way of saying that is we adapt to stress better when we consume adaptogens. We do better. We're empowered that way. They do increase all of our various immune functions, resisting harmful factors, both physical and otherwise. And I always like to include this last point. I'm glad Allison included it, because this is my little, the Chinese would have called them superior herbs. Superior herbs are the herbs that can be used every day in large quantities. In other words, they're the safest herbs. That's why they're superior. We think kind of like the opposite here. If something's like, oh, you better only just use a little, just don't use it more than twice. Oh, that's powerful. Okay. Think totally different with the foundational approach. We've had to do that. I've had to do the same thing. I had to think totally different. And I've watched this approach is a much more long-term wellness strength, has a lot more power than just trying to use something super powerful once or twice, chasing symptoms or grave imbalances. I'd rather move my overall wellness to a better place and avoid those. These are the adaptogens that are in there, all 6 of these. Some other time, I'm sure we can talk about, if we talk about adaptable, can talk a little bit about each of those. Here's one example of rhodiola, a lot of studies on energy, a lot of studies on depression and anxiety, comparing it directly to chemicals, to prescription chemicals, immune studies. Rhodiola has a wide variety of benefits. And honestly, if you just keep reading and Googling, look up real studies, not just articles, because those go all over the place. You'll see a huge long list that we couldn't put on one slide of benefits, because it is dealing with the normalizing processes of the body, which affect everything. And rhodiola it's a great one. There's some great concentrates available. We use one that's sometimes Blake Christensen, who is our supply chain VP, will show the lab results just to show you what we look for to make sure we're getting good potent rhodiola in the formulas. So that's so vital. It's all about balancing both our energy and our mood, enlivening, helping us deal with stress better, providing a core that is going to help us in every part of our health and every part of our activity. All right, back to you, Amy.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. And I got to tell you, I love what you were saying about that experiment, because when I first started with Solle, I remember Vital was one of the first things that I took, and I never missed a day. Like my husband and I, every single day, we're just like you. We start a morning with it. And I remember just explaining it to people as like a veil that had been lifted from me, and like the fog cleared and I could finally see again, and I could move through life with my blinders off. And with what Dr. Allison said, I feel like when you're progressing in health, it does leave you wanting more and more and more, because when you experience that, you just want to keep moving forward. So thank you for that. I love that explanation that you gave. Awesome. And don't forget, if you guys have any questions for Greg, please chat them in, and we are definitely going to be looking through those in a bit, and we will answer them. We have a couple more exciting testimonies for you guys. We love to hear from our Solle family. And so we have a few of our awesome members, clients, Solle family that are going to pop on tonight and share a little bit about their experience. And we have first is going to be Mr. Mark Van Dam. So I'm going to go ahead and let you share, Mark. We got him here.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you for being with us.
For sure. And good evening, everyone. And KB, shout out to you. Appreciate the opportunity to share with you guys tonight. So, I've always been a person that's been in shape and have taken vitamins, but you never know if the vitamins worked. I just thought, I'm going to take them because, I have to take them. And last summer, I was on a really strong antibiotic, and it was really affecting my stomach. And my wife was kind of pushing me to try the ProBio just to offset, the issues I was having with the antibiotic. So I tried it, and it actually worked. And we combined it with the Vertizymes. And after I was off of that antibiotic, I decided to stay on the product, and it really helped. And this was the first time that I had actually had a product that helped me, and I saw the results of it. And I was kind of blown away by that. And I'm a tough sell. I've been in sales for 25 plus years. So it's like, wow, this actually kind of works. Well, I also have a sinus issue, and I had sinus headaches my whole life. Every week I would get, one really good sinus headache. So I reached out to KB and I said, hey, do you guys have, something that I could take for a headache? So we went to the Solflex PI, and I was taking Cunol, and I never really felt an effect from Cunol. But after about 2 weeks on the Solflex product, I get maybe one headache a month. Like it's so much better. So I do a ProBio in the morning, I do Vertizymes at night, and then I do the Solflex in the morning when I take the ProBio. But then we went to adaptables. So I'm in a position where I've got a little bit of stress, like mental strain, and started taking the adaptables before I go to bed. So I do adaptables and Vertizymes before I go to bed. And I did feel this lift in my mood, and my wife noticed it also. And it's been really cool to see these products do actually work, and it's having an impact. So just want to say thank you. KB, she's on my speed dial. I'll either text or call her and say, hey, what do you think about this? She's kind of become our guide. So this neuro product I just saw, I'm interested in that. And, my wife does Cinemate, and she does the Soul Vital. So after hearing the Soul Vital, I might start on that a little bit. And in the beginning here, the color coding really helped me kind of connect the dots on the products. So that was really cool. I got some learning there too, but appreciate the opportunity to share. And KB, I'll pass it back to you, or Amy, one or the other.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. It is
Yeah.
great to have someone like KB on your speed dial for sure.
Yeah.
She's helped guide me through a few of those spots too. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. We appreciate you being on.
For sure.
All right. Awesome. Next up, we are going to hear, I believe we have a video from Cassie Albinson. We're going to play here for you guys. And KB is going to go ahead and start that for us.
Back when I started, I guess I didn't really realize how reactive I was to certain things. Spur of the moment plans. Hello, I'm Cassie Albinson. I've been with Soul for 3 years, and back when I started, I guess I didn't really realize how reactive I was to certain things. Spur of the moment plans. I wasn't very spontaneous about stuff. I needed to think about stuff for a long time and plan everything out. We would have family over, and there would always be this T-30 time that I would freak out because everything wasn't done. And since then, I want to say that I have started responding instead of reacting. And I know it's the balance that I have found in the nutrition I'm taking with Soul. I love the routine that I've made, and also when something is not needed, like in the summer when I can absorb D in the summer, I can not take that. And when I'm eating salmon during the week, I don't have to do the megas. I'm learning what supplement is to supplement for a time, and in that, it's creating a lot of balance in my mood and my response time, not my reaction to the people around me. So I'm very thankful for the Soul Protocol and how it's helped me balance everything out. So I hope you have a great night. Thanks for letting me speak. Hello.
Awesome. Thank you, Cassie, for preparing that video for us. And I also love the nourishing benefits of Soul, because you definitely can tell a difference. Next up, we are going to hear from Miss Lisa Morris. She is going to jump on and share a little bit of her Soul story with us. looking for Lisa here.
Hey, good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. So I am Lisa Morris. I'm a mama of 4, work full time, I have a wellness business, lots of hats I wear, and I did not plan on being part of Soul or being a taking Soul. I just happened to scroll upon a feed one day on Facebook. It was Amy's, and she was talking about digestion. And something she had said stuck out to me. She said that we could be holding anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds of feces in us at any time. And I was like, what? Ew. Like, I want to get rid of that, right? So, and I was having problems with my digestion at work. I work midnight shift. Well, I'm getting ready to change that, but I have worked the midnight shift for the past 2 years. So my digestion was off. I also have anxiety and PMDD, which is kind of like extreme PMS. So I saw that post and it kind of piqued my interest. I started talking to Amy and I took a chance on it. I did the 2-week cleanse. So one of the products in the cleanse is the Vital, which we talked about tonight. And as far as results from the cleanse, I lost, I think, about 5 pounds, and I've kept that off. I felt better. I wasn't as bloated. I had more energy. And I just felt good. And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of one of the products in the cleanse is the Vital, and that's the yummy drink right here. And it's kind of funny because at first I didn't think I liked it, and then it kind of grew on me. But it made me happy, and I literally called it my happy drink because I could tell that it was making me feel just happier. And for someone who has, PMDD, which was extreme mood swings, I needed that. Right. So that was huge. And that led me to research more. And I ended up trying all kinds of other products. I ended up becoming a specialist, which is not something I had planned to do, but I was like, I can't not be a part of this, amazing company. Everything Greg had said about, he said there's an increased responsibility to health. Soul has literally done that to me through just making me pay more attention and research more about quality. I've learned so much about the quality of products, and I've always been a healthy person. But like what's his name said, he said, we didn't know if they were actually working. I used to take the stuff from CVS and just hope it was doing something. And with Soul, the difference is I feel and I see and I know that it's working and doing something. So super, super, super thankful to be part of it. And just, I'm excited. I'm going to try adaptable next. That's my next thing to help with my anxiety. So, yep, that's my story.
Thank you, Lisa. I love it that you call it your happy green drink. And once again, your yellow glasses make me very happy. I love them. Thank you so much for sharing, girl. I always love hearing from you. So thank you. All right, I think we have one more testimony. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you all. This is from Mason S. And Mason says, upon using Soul, I had always dealt with bloating and irregular bowel movements. It took a long time of feeling sluggish and beat down from an unhealthy gut before I decided to give Soul a shot. I am very sensitive to what I put in my body. And as we all know, it takes time for the herbs to really start to work in your body. I was lucky enough to notice a difference in a week, and that's how I knew I had found the right fix for a healthy gut. So thank you, Mason, for sharing that with us. Awesome. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments, we want to hear from you guys. Do we have any in the chat? I know some of you guys are kind of screening those out. If there's any questions from the presentation that we can go through.
Amy, we did have some good questions in the chat. Let me scroll up. There was one about the stevia. Sorry for the delay. Okay, this was from an endurance athlete, and she said that she has had a reaction with stevia in the past. Does anybody want to take that question up?
Yeah, I can, Kristen. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, no matter what you have, and even among good things, there can be sensitivities. And so I don't know if she's tried, I don't know if Rebecca, if you've tried any of the Solle products. But the one thing I was going to say is there are a huge variety of stevia products out there. So sometimes we think if it's stevia, oh, it's stevia. And it's not the case. There are huge numbers of them, and some could give you a problem and some potentially could not. But I do know some people, even with the Solle, we use a really high grade stevia, that it's not their thing. So Rebecca says it is with Solle. And so in your case, there are some things, Rebecca, like the capsules in terms of the adaptable in Solle Vital. You can use capsules, just use one capsule of adaptable, because 2 capsules would be a double dose of the Solle Vital adaptogens, and 1 would be the same. What you don't get is the minerals and the chlorophylls from Solle Vital if you're using the adaptable capsule. But there are lots of other Solle products that don't have stevia that have minerals. So you can work around it with them. Hopefully that's helpful.
That's one of the things that I do love about Solle is that when we work with people too, I know some people love to drink their herbs, and some people prefer capsules, and it's great to have the option of both for sure.
Yeah, there's Cassie in there. Amy says she reacted to stevia for years and she did not with Solle stevia. So most people don't, but if you do, it's not a defect in you. Okay, we don't understand all the reasons that we might have a sensitivity. We really don't. We try to understand those. But that's why, back to Amy, that's why we do believe in a variety of things and some overlap, you'll notice in products, so that you can find the one that fits best for you. So please don't feel like, oh, I can't, we just talked all about Vital and I can't do it. Well, you can do other things equally powerful than Solle for sure.
Awesome. That's a great explanation. Thank you, Greg, for answering that for us. Kristen, was there any others that we had?
Yeah, there was one more. It may have gotten answered. Rosa was asking if the individual packets are recyclable and how we can be more earthly conscious with the bottles. And I believe Satinka, or no, Angela replied that she does recycle her bottles.
Yeah, the bottles are recyclable. And the packets, I will tell you, those stick packs are not. And the reason is because of the sealing property. We still haven't seen, well, let me put it this way. They're starting to exist now. From what we're starting to see them in recycled, not recyclable, but recycled. So it's been recycled already. But first priority is the seal. And then the next is definitely that recyclability. So good news on that question, Rosa. We're seeing developments out there of the quality necessary now in that area. And so you probably noticed with Solle Royal that those bags actually are made from post-consumer material and they have the seal we want. So we're starting to see that, but that's different than the film that is used for these little individual stick packs. And so we'll keep you posted. It is something that we take seriously.
We have one more that just came through, Greg. We'll go ahead and take this. Olga says she has a client who can't take guar gum. Would you explain that similar to the situation with the stevia as far as quality and things? Yeah,
there are different forms of that as well. Guar gum, because sometimes people think it will plug you up because it's an acid resistant soluble fiber. Acid resistant just means it won't immediately get dissolved in the stomach. It'll last a little longer, and we want that because we want some of the nutrients to get into the small intestine, and the fibers will attach to them. So, for instance, in our ProBio, which was mentioned tonight, I think that was Mark that talked about ProBio. Both ProBio and Vertizymes have and I'm trying to think is that konjac? Is it konjac and guar, or konjac and another one? Xanthan. Okay, so that's another one. There's a family of these And they do play an important role in attaching to some of these nutrients and bringing them further into the digestive tract. But I think what happens is people see them and they're like, oh, I've had this before and had problems with it. Again, I'd have to ask her if it's with Solle, if it's with the Solle product or just in general. If it's in general, what happens is they put way too much in some things. We put as small as possible in the formula to keep it suspended. And the reason for that is so that you get an even distribution of nutrients. So one thing you can always do if you're worried about it and you've had problems in the past is just sip a little bit and wait 20 minutes. 20, 25 minutes. Okay, I might sip a little more and you test it a little bit. If the guar gum, if you still are sensitive, look at the capsules and so many of the Solle products that don't have it in there. There's lots of them and there are lots of good options for you.
Awesome. Those are some really great questions, guys. Thank you so much for bringing those forward so that everybody can kind of learn together. I love that. And thanks for the great answers, Greg. Perfect. Okay, awesome. I think, Kristen, do we have another slide here that we're going to talk about a second?
We actually, we're going to pull our winners.
Okay.
And can I break a rule? Greg, I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
I missed that comparison. You said 1 adaptable is equal to 2 vital?
No, so the adaptogen blend in Solle Vital, remember there's 3 groups of herbs, the
Right.
minerals, and then there's the chlorophylls, and then there's the adaptogens. That adaptogen blend of 6 adaptogens is the same group in adaptable, but in 2 capsules of adaptable, you get a double dose of the adaptogens in Vital. So 1 capsule of adaptable, which is kind of half a serving in the adaptable, is actually the serving we put in Solle Vital. So you can see why we did that. It's the daily maintenance, daily balance with your minerals and your chlorophyll, whereas the adaptable is a little more emphasis and target, right, on that, all the adaptogen stuff and the mood leveling. So really, you can just say it this way: 1 capsule is actually the same as the adaptogens from 1 packet of Vital. I know it's still a little complicated because it doesn't have the chlorophyll and the minerals in the capsule, but in the adaptogen part, that's the equivalent: 1 capsule to 1 packet.
Capsule, 1 packet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amy, actually, Sarah has been taking down all the names. So
Awesome. Okay, so we are going to have Sarah go ahead and announce and pick our winner for the giveaway that we have, which I know we showed a picture of at the beginning, but it's the pretty Solle Royale bottle. And then we also have a Solle Green water bottle that we are doing for our giveaway tonight. So Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and let you know.
All right, good evening, everyone. Prize time. Our first winner, Cassie Elbinson.
Woohoo.
Second winner, Terry Sanders.
Awesome. So Cassie and Terry are our lucky winners tonight. I always love winning things. That's so exciting.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all of you guys for being here. I know that we get really excited about doing these things and learning with you. And we're just so thankful that all of you guys could take the time out and spend this evening with us. Thank you to everyone who shared with us and we're part of tonight's education. And we look forward to seeing you guys. Don't forget, every single Monday night at 7 p.m. We will be here, same time, same place. So thanks again.
thanks, Amy.